It's an absolute buzz to be able to introduce to you all Jonny Perl, famous for DNA Painter and one of our presenters at Family History Down Under 2021. To kick things off, Jonny, just tell us a bit about yourself.
Me? First of all, thanks for having me. I'm based in London in the UK. I live with my partner and 2 children above a park in East London, and I spend most of my time mixed between programming, talking to people about genealogy on the internet, and doing genealogy.
Terrific. So, Family History Down Under 2021, I think it's your first conference in Australia, even if unfortunately you're not going to be able to be with us physically. But tell us a bit about why you thought the appeal of Family History Down Under 2021 and how you got to be involved in DNA Painter.
Sure, okay, we've got 2 big questions there. So we'll talk about Family History Down Under first. I had obviously been aware of the organisation and the show before, but I guess more prominently, I've got lots and lots of people I communicate with on a daily basis who are in Australia. So I feel like I know a lot of these people already and I'm kind of connected to them. And when I was at Roots Tech, I met with Alan Phillips and we had a chat. And well, at that point, to be honest, I was quite looking forward to getting on a plane and coming to meet everyone. And it won't be exactly like that. But no, it's just a really great chance to connect to people in a different part of the world. I think inevitably things can be slightly US centric. Even as someone not from the US, I probably talk about the interests of US based people a lot because in many ways they're my interests. But so it's actually really important to connect to people in different places as well. So that's Family History Down Under. Moving on to DNA Painter, shall I tell you a little bit about how it came together?
We'd love you to. Thanks, Jonny.
DNA Painter is still actually quite young. It has recently had, I guess, its 3rd birthday, probably in terms of how long it's been around. And it's young because I'm actually quite young as a DNA enthusiast. I'm also famous for being quite tight with my money, and I refused to pay for a DNA test for many years, not really understanding how it might help me with my own research. I didn't really stump up the cash. I wasn't clear on what it could do. I found the adverts on the TV with the kind of pie charts with the ethnicity a little bit gimmicky, and so I didn't do it until the end of 2016. That was when I first took the test. So a lot of people who I talked to obviously they're veterans of genetic genealogy compared with me. So I took that test then, and then I obviously got drawn in as one does and fascinated with what on earth all these strange numbers meant. And because my background is in web development, my instinct was to visualize it. And because I'm lucky, I arrived in quite a nascent field where not that many people were doing that. So first of all, I had a sense of what chromosome mapping must be. So I looked at how I was related to a known match, and I tried to think through the implications of that in my head. If I share DNA with this guy I've never heard of before, who's 79 years old and he lives in Oregon, how can that be? And luckily he was someone who had a rare name in his tree that was also in my tree, and we were able to trace it back to the town that we can see behind us, where 2 sisters in the 1850s were born, and those were our kind of our common threads. So I built a system that helps you to visualize that information, because a lot of what we're doing with our DNA matches is going around and collecting this information about how we're connected to them. And then what do we do with that? How can we actually make something of that? Well, one way to make something of that is to map your chromosomes and actually figure out which bits of your DNA came from which ancestors. And even though this probably sounds very abstract to those who are not familiar with it, to me this was a rather intoxicating concept, and which has been keeping me going for the last few years.
I think intoxicating is the right word. I think we could talk on this subject for hours. And thankfully, you're going to be doing 2 presentations for us in March, one on DNA Painter and one on chromosome mapping. And I'm also hoping to personally hear a bit more about Watto, which I've started to get stuck into. So, Jonny, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we will really be looking forward to what you're going to present to us in March next year, and I hope you're looking forward to it as well.
I am indeed. Thank you very much.